Welcome to the Mobile County Public Schools Athletic Show. My name's Brad Lowell, Athletic Director for the Mobile County Public Schools. We're here with Davidson High School today and Coach Ship, girls basketball coach at Davidson. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. Well, fresh off kind of finishing up the season, and I know you had a good run there, especially toward the end of the season. I know early on you've been a long-time coach in our county, and we appreciate what you do. And I know you had a young team this year. You played a very strong schedule. It seemed like it paid off there toward the end. So talk to us a little bit about this year and kind of what you guys did.
Yeah, we lost a lot of seniors from last year. We very young, as you say, we're 9th and 10th graders. We didn't have any seniors. Started off 8-1, then December schedule was pretty tough. We took a few lumps, lost a lot of close games by 1 or 2 points. Got going in January, had a great run in January. I think we lost 1 game in January before the playoffs. We went into the area tournament as the 2nd seed. It's the first time in a long time we've been 2nd seed, but played out at Theodore. We survived Baker in the first round, semifinals. In the finals, we matched up with Theodore. We had a huge upset win over Theodore. They were ranked 3rd in the state. We just had a great game. Kelsey Thompson was MVP. She scored 34 points. We played our best basketball for the end of the season.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a really good run there, and Theodore had a very good team this year. And I know this year you and I were talking about how strong both Area 1, 7A, and Area 2, which is who you guys matched up with in region play, how they were this year too. Talk to us a little bit about that, because I know you thrive on playing really tough competition throughout the year to prepare your girls for postseason. Right.
We played some of the top teams in Mississippi to prepare for our season. We played a strong Faith Academy, LaFleur, Moss Point out of Mississippi, Biloxi. With our areas, Area 1, Area 2, I think it was Foley's ranked 2 in the state, Theodore's ranked 3, McGill's ranked 5th.
Right.
We were honorable mention right behind them. We're I guess you'd call us 12th. But the Foley's got a really good team. They've beaten McGill 3 times this year, and they play in the regional championship later on this week.
As you progress throughout the season, and I know you've done this for a long time, and you talked about how you graduated and lost a few girls from last year. What the expectations are coming this year. I know you had one of your better players still returning, Kelsey.
Right.
And putting up 30-plus points. Yeah. You don't see that very often.
I know.
So she's obviously a special player, but it seemed like a lot of the girls kind of rallied around her.
Right, she's a team leader. She gets us going. Simple offense, we say Kelsey score. She'll drive to the basket, kick out, she'll drive and score. She's done a super job hitting her free throws.
Yeah.
She's had to play center on defense for us. So she's had to, play against everybody's bigs. She had to play against Ariel Thompson, and one of the best players in Mobile County. We run a zone just because we're young, but she's been, one of our top rebounders. Obviously our top scorer. She's played for me for 4 years, and she's only a sophomore.
Yeah. So that's pretty bright to know.
Right.
You still got a few more years.
Right.
With probably your main leader on the team.
Right.
Well, now that the season, ended in a very, very close game with McGill, I know you all were right there.
Right.
To end up almost making it to the finals for regional. But
right.
I know that's a positive outlook leading into the summer. What you pretty much give the girls off until summertime gets here, or what do y'all do in preparation of the next season?
Right now, they're. I don't see them right now. We're through with basketball. We have a very good weight training program with Coach Eubanks, Coach Massengale. They have probably a majority of my basketball players in there lifting weights. I've got a couple of them that's going to run track. Of course, Kelsey will play AU basketball. She plays for one of the top teams in the state, Huntsville Stars. So, but like I say, they walked off the court talking about next year.
That's I know that's promising, and when you evaluate the end of the year and going into next year, you can kind of see the experience. And we've talked about this a lot too. You can't substitute experience for what they gained from this year.
Right.
Like you said, you kept it simple, but do you feel like that you're going to be able to put a little bit more on them next year?
Yeah, there's a few changes we're going to make. Like I say, it'll be a different team. Every year is a different team, but I've had, injuries throughout the year. I've had, one player was unable to play in the playoffs, and she's a really good three-point shooter, so I hope she'll be back. Like I say, I think we'll be 8 or 9 deep next year.
Yeah, and you talked about weight room and the girls being in the weight room, especially the ones that are not participating in the spring sport or doing something else. As you go into summer, do you believe in, you get that month of June to play competition? Do you take advantage of that opportunity to have your girls play?
What we do, the state gives us 3 weeks in June. We can play as many games in June during those 3 weeks as we can. I'll schedule 40 games. We'll play, counting JV and varsity, we'll play 3 and 4 times a day. Teams throughout Mobile, Baldwin County. We have schools from Mississippi. Jackson comes down. So, we will not practice a lot. We'll just basically show up and play summer league games.
And I would think that would probably help the girls that may not have really played a whole lot during the season, but now that's their opportunity to really play.
Right, you can learn a lot from watching them play during the summer league, and it's more fun when you play a game than just go up there and practice. But like I say, summer's huge. It shows what we need to work on, shows our weaknesses and things like that.
I would imagine too, like you mentioned, every year's a new team. That's the time to where you really find out what you can do with that particular team, especially with the X's and O's part of things. Right.
We're a three-point shooting team. We're going to shoot the three as much as possible. Fortunately, we've got some really good shooters, and we just don't have the big post people we've had in the past. And next year, we're going to try to up-tempo more, try more of a running game, try to do a little bit more pressing. We didn't have the numbers this year, but hopefully, if everybody comes back healthy, we'll be fine next year.
Well, Coach, congratulations. It was a good year, especially coming back and beating a strong Theodore team to win the area tournament, and of course, positioning yourself right there. Really had a chance to make it to the finals of the regional. A couple calls here and there, baskets, but congratulations on a good year, and good luck to you next year.
Well, thanks so much.
All right, we'll be back after the break.
I'm Ashley Rich, Mobile County District Attorney. The failure to obey school bus safety laws will cost you. It can cost you up to a $3,000 fine and the loss of your driving privileges.
But more than that, it could cost the life of a child. That's why the Mobile County Public School System is urging you to stop and obey all bus traffic laws. Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Director of Transportation for the Mobile County Public School System. We're asking you to obey all bus safety laws. It could save a life. Remember, stop ahead when you see red. Our future depends on it.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality, hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program.
All right, welcome back to our show. We're here with Coach Ferris, golf coach at Davidson. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here to talk about golf. We don't get to talk about golf a whole
Right.
lot. I personally love playing golf. I'm not very good at it, but I do try to get out there and play sometimes. Golf is such a unique sport in a manner of very specialized. So kind of tell us a little bit about golf as far as the general idea of what you do day to day with your golfers. You know, it is a team sport, but it also is an individualized sport, which is kind of unique in itself. So just kind of talk to us a little bit about that and what you guys do.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, the main thing that we try to accomplish is, at least me personally, is creating a love of the game. And having kids come in, I don't cut anybody. If you want to play, I will let you play. I don't guarantee anybody you'll be in a competitive event,
Right.
but you can come learn the game and play. And so it's weird over my career. I mean, this is year 8 of being the golf coach at Davidson, and I've had 2 distinct categories of players, which is kids that come in that have been playing their entire life and are ready for competitive play and have everything together, and kids who are just picking it up. So for the kids that are ready to compete, we go through a very rigorous program with them of systematically improving all areas of their game and going through it, you know, taking
Which is a
pages.
lot.
Right, right. But, you know, I mean, we have some good programs here. You know, we've got South, Mobile, Spring Hill, taking pages from them, what they do with their programs, and using those for the competitive players who are ready to go. And then for the new kids, it's all about basically getting them to a point where they can experience success. And once there's always an aha moment where they play a good hole and get a par, or they hit one really nice shot or make one really big putt, and you can see it and they're addicted. And that feeling of I did it, and just getting them to that place where they start chasing that success and chasing that feeling.
Right.
That's when they can then sort of transfer to being more serious.
Well, you mentioned aha moments. That's what keeps me playing every now and then.
Right.
There's aha moments, but that happens, you know, very few times over the last 20 years. But I think it's great that, you know, anybody that wants to come out there and experience sport, you let them come out there regardless if they're first time they stepped out on the course or if they've been doing it their whole life. I think that's an awesome, you know, approach to what you do, and appreciate that. I know you and I were talking about, of course, in order to practice, you got to go to the course. So you guys every day go to Spring Hill and,
Yes, sir.
and work on specific parts of the game. How does it work? Do you play a few holes a day for practice? Do you say, okay, you're going to work on, because you almost can't work on everything every day.
Right, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't, and it has to be kind of tailored to what your needs are. So, and this time of year, it's before the time has changed. I mean, it's getting dark pretty early.
Right.
So we work really within the same concept of those two groups. So the experienced players will get in, hit some range balls, hit some putts, hit some chips, and then we'll go out on the course with them and let them work that stuff. And then the new players, they'll stay on the range, and we'll work swing fundamental stuff and just kind of building their game and getting them to a place where they can hit shots that are good enough and play well enough to go out on the course.
Now, as you guys play throughout the year, and you mentioned this earlier in discussions, you know, you have the team concept and you have the individual concept. You know, how does that work whenever you do go and compete against other schools?
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny because it is an individual sport, but at the same time, I mean, my coaching background, I've coached football for years, and I grew up playing baseball, and you know, as a kid. There is still a team element, and they feed off of each other, and there's an energy before you play a tournament or a match, and you can tell where the kids are, and they'll definitely feed off of each other. And then, you know, we can talk to them from the time they hole out to when they hit their next tee shot.
Okay.
And so there's always the question, you know, how's so-and-so doing? Well, you know, how's she doing? How's he doing? And they want to know how their teammates are doing. And if they hear, you know, that, well, you know, he's got a birdie. Well, you can see that energy transfer over to them, and they realize that as a team, we're closer to accomplishing our goals.
Makes sense. So, you brought up a good point. So you're saying once you come out, they finish a hole, that conversation can start until they tee off, and then you can't talk to them again until they complete that
Right.
next hole.
Right.
You know, I know sometimes you just want to talk to them so bad.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's all strategy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Especially like you said, when you have others on the course and the team element is there, so you know, strategy can come to play depending on what somebody did in front of you or behind you, what they scored based on what you need for that particular hole or that person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it can.
you know,
And
that can change a complete.
Right. It could lead to a situation of like from a course management, like, hey, we got to put the pedal down here. You need to go for this par 5.
Right.
Don't lay up. You
Right.
got to go for it.
Right. So as the season begins and you guys start playing different matches and tournaments and things like that, I know pretty much you're working yourself to the Mobile County Championships.
That's
you know,
correct.
to get to that point, and then of course you get into sectional play. You know, tell us a little bit about how that goes once you get into the Mobile County Championships and the sectional play. You know, because you can qualify to move forward as a team or individual.
That's right.
You know,
That's
talk
right.
to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so within the Mobile County Championship, that's a huge event for us, and that's really been one of our major focal points in the 8 years here. And so once you get into that, there are the team competitions. So we crown a champion for the boys and girls, and then beyond that too, with the boys, we do a Balfour match play championship where the top 16 individual players go play match play, which is a really, really, really neat event that we do that's very unique in the state. And Coach Hughes at Theodore is in charge of that, and he sets it up every year, and it's a lot of fun because match play is a completely different dynamic
Right.
than playing stroke play. And then from there, there's a little bit of lag time, and then you hit sectionals, which is our playoffs.
Right.
And you know, we play in 7A. So in 7A, the top 2 teams go, and then the top 2 individuals from everybody who was not on a qualifying team then go to sub-state.
Right.
And then it repeats again. Top 2 teams, top 2 individuals go to state.
Yeah.
And in 8 years of coaching at Davidson, we've had an individual or a team at sub-state every year.
Yeah.
And we've been as close as 2 shots away from going to state, but we've not made it to state. And so that's a big goal for us that maybe can happen this year.
And yeah, and you've had some really strong competitors over the years, girls and boys.
We have. We've been very fortunate. We've got two players that are playing college golf now that have played in our program, and hoping this year we can maybe get there.
So what's a good score, you know, as we finish up talking, what's a good score for maybe a men's, and then what's a good score for maybe a woman?
For men's, under par. Some of the best
In order
golf,
to move forward, you better be under par.
some of the best golf in the world for their age group is played in the state of Alabama, and they need to be under par. Girls, anything close to par, you're talking in that 75 to 80 range. But there are girls
They'll
in
be
this
right
state
there, yeah.
that go in the 60s, no problem.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that's like, but hey, that's awesome. Well, Coach, good luck to you this year.
Thank
And
you.
I know you've been a long time coach in our county and coaching golf for Davidson for a number of years. So appreciate what you do and what you helping those kids out.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back after the break.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
All right, welcome back to our show. We're here with Coach Eubanks football and track coach at Davidson. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, football season's been over with, and we're kind of structuring into spring season, and I know track season's already started practicing and getting ready at the end of the month, or really the 1st of April this year to start your meets.
Well, actually, our first meet is March 14th.
Okay.
It's
March.
St. Paul's Relays.
So still got a few weeks to go on preparation. I do want to talk about track a little bit because, you know, we were talking golf earlier, and track's kind of a similar situation where it's a team component, but also individual component.
Right.
And I don't think people, it's a lot more than just telling somebody to go out there and run it.
Absolutely.
So, which I think is what people just see, oh, you know, they fast, they can run straight away, or,
yeah.
you know, they can run for days and run distance or whatever. But there's a lot to go into track practicing. You know, talk to us a little bit about, because it's such special, every event's specialized. It has different components to that event. So how in the world do you manage that with all the different, I guess,
Events.
events
right.
and how you're having to take each individual player and specialize them in those events? That's got to be pretty time management.
It is. You know, we had 132 sign up this year.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so it was a little mind blowing at first, but great thing we have is at Davidson is we have some former athletes of ours that have gone on to, you know, do track events in college that are coming back to help us. You know, so you know Cameron Stewart, who's running at South Alabama, will swing by, you know, a couple days a week and work with our sprinters.
Right.
You know, and we have a former thrower, Jada Scott, who qualified in discus and shot put for three straight years, and she's come back to help do our throwers this year. So you know, so having those kind of kids come back and want to be a part of, you know, Davidson track and how special it was to them, you know, that helps us out tremendously. Coach Hutchison and I, you know.
Yeah.
I specialize more in the jumps, the hurdles. Coach Hutchison does the distance, and then you know those kids kind of help us out with the other events.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately you are competing as a team because you're trying to accumulate points for every different event that you have.
Right.
So you try to maximize trying to get everybody to compete at least in one event.
Well, every athlete can compete up to 4 events, you know, and we have a good group of seniors that are going to have to go above and beyond this year. You know, for the most part, we've had them compete in 1 or 2 events that they're really good at, but this year they're going to have to lead our team and compete in all 4 at some times. You know, and then we got a good group of freshmen coming in. I believe our entire girls cross country team came out this year, so for the first time we may actually try to pick up some points in distance, which is really going to help. You know, a lot of teams that we've learned throughout the year. This is only my 3rd year coaching track, and I've learned you can get a lot of points in distance. So that was a goal of mine to try to get that cross country team out there, and they've come out and they've been working very hard.
That's awesome because it is. I mean, every event counts.
It does.
And those points, you know, every event you miss out on, it's tough to gain a ground on somebody who's competing in every single thing and gaining some type of points. But I know historically y'all have had very strong runners, especially in sprinters and relays and hurdles. So adding that distance component's got to help.
It's going to help, you know, we lost a lot of throwers. You know, I mentioned Jada, who's helping us this year. But we've always been real strong in jumping, you know. We've past 2 years, you know, we had Malik Crandall, who won the triple jump state championship, and then Val Dixon on the girls triple jump and long jump last year finished 3rd. So you know, jumping is always something we take pride in, and we got a really good young lady, Kayla Baker, who's a senior this year, who's going to, you know, turn some heads in the high jump and in the 100 4x1, possibly the 100 hurdles also. So looking forward to it.
What do you see, like, what does it seem like every year seems to, you really specialize, I guess, what part of track do you try to find somebody in every year that seems to, where you have to almost teach somebody, like like a shot put or distance. That's so technical.
It is.
The javelin, you
Right.
know, all those seem to be very technical.
They are.
And probably not a lot of kids get experience till they get to y'all with those.
It is, you know,
areas.
and it's difficult. There are summer track programs, you know, but you know, a lot of our other, you know, our athletes play other sports, you know, especially with football. You know, a lot of our football guys play or track is their spring sport,
Right.
you know, but we're in the middle of football season and we're having practice, you know, that they're unable to do summer track. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is difficult. And like Coach Ferris with golf, I'm sure he has people that the only time they ever play is in season at Davidson. So
Right.
the same thing goes on with us at track. So.
Well, and I know with middle school, a lot of them did run to middle school, so they have that experience, and they do the shot and they do the discus, but they don't do the javelin in
Right.
middle school. So
Right.
that's a new aspect coming
is.
into high school that I guess you have to teach somebody to do.
YouTube is our best friend.
Yeah, you
For
can find a
sure.
lot.
You can find
Yeah,
a
you
lot.
can.
You can become a really good coach.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'll be the first to say I've used some YouTube myself on learning how to do some things. So I know once track season gets here, you guys will compete in meets, and then y'all have the same thing that come up. You have the Mobile County Championships, and then of course you get into your sectional play and all that. And and I know you mentioned you had a young team. Do you try to just get as many of those kids opportunities prior to those specific tournaments there at the end?
We do. There's a few JV meets that we have, and you know, the whole season is really just, you know, mixing kids in different events, seeing where they strive, and then by the time Mobile County Championships comes around, we want to really have everybody defined, you know, in a role of what they want to do, what events we want them to be in, so we give our best effort then.
So I guess the only way to do that is you do have to find enough meets to where you can put people at different
Right.
areas to find out what they really thrive in.
Yeah, you know, we're required to have at least 6, you know, and up to 10, including Mobile County Championships. So our kids come out and they want to compete, and although we do have, you know, athletes that compete in other sports, some of them track is their only sport. So we want to give them the most opportunities that we can by scheduling as many events as
And
we
you
can.
might be able to find a football player in there somewhere.
Absolutely. You know, that's always a plus.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck this spring, because I know you don't stop, because once track's over with, y'all right back into
Right back into
spring
football.
and
Yep.
then summertime it never stops anymore.
Never stops.
Well, good luck to you,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you being on the show.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, and we'll be back next week.